When you look more refined to the physical body, you look where the molecules are built of, the atoms, and where atoms are built of. You move back into energy, and then you come into energies which are quite of a high vibration. But that's more the physics behind it. So when we look to our awareness or our consciousness, our perception, and how we perceive the physical body, so often we perceive the physical body as a kind of prison. We are caught in part of the physical body, and often we are caught in the mind. So we are aware of or conscious of our thoughts, but we're not so conscious of or aware of our feelings. You know what's going on, and the rest is not. It's not that clear. And often when you look then to the content of the thoughts are, most of the times there's kind of a busy mind going on. And we use our thoughts to kind of try to become okay, to become somebody who is okay. To adjust to a belief or an image we have ourselves of what is acceptable.
What is acceptable within us, or
what we imagine what would be acceptable to the environment.
To the environment.
Yeah. And also towards ourselves then. Because you know the environment is not doing this to us, we are doing this to ourselves. So this, partly what we do is that we lose our naturalness. We lose the connection with our naturalness. The side effect is also that we lose trust in ourselves. How could you trust yourself? How could you trust your physical existence if the physical existence is not moving according to what you think is right? You know, in the wrong places, in the wrong moments, anger is arising, or fear is coming forward, or insecurity. You get sick. Your physical body is betraying you. Shame, hot flushes, all the things the body is producing, you know, which is not welcome in how we want to be. Sexual feelings. So we're basically in a struggle with the physical. This struggle is very much connected with the mind and being locked in the mind. You know, it's better not to feel as to feel. But at the same time, because we're in a struggle, we are in a loop with certain areas of our physical. If we're in a struggle with fear, basically we're in a loop with fear all the time. If you're in a struggle with the fear, the most difficult period you move through when you're in a fight with fears is when there is non-fear. If there is non-fear, fear can come any moment. You know, it will surprise you. It's better to hold on to your fears, because you know what you have. That gives a sense of control. So we're expecting a punch 24 hours a day almost. Maybe not when we sleep, so let's take 10 hours off. You know, 14 hours a day we're expecting a punch. So 14 hours a day we tensen our stomach. We're in a stress. We cannot really relax because the punch can come every moment. And then the punch which we are expecting is the rejection. So to really come to deep relaxation, to kind of, to let go of this control factor in the mind, when we let go of the control factor, we feel much more relaxed and we start to connect more deeply with our physical, with the other perceptions which are moving through the physical. We start to feel things, to experience maybe. When I talk about feeling things, that's just what's happening inside yourself. That's the core things, like fear, anger, love. I feel love. And that's still hold. This love is hold. I feel love. And so if you feel...
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Hold.
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 Held.
Okay.
Sorry, held.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's still held. I feel love. When it's held, we need to do something with it. You feel love, so you need to do something with it. You feel love for a child, so you need to kind of do something with the child to show your love. It's like, it needs to be expressed, we need to do something with it, so to get rid as quickly as possible from it, when you really look into it. If we have a feeling, we want to get rid of it. It needs to be expressed and then done. And then we want to refeed it. We want this feeling back. You recognize what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because then it was a good feeling, love is a good feeling, so we want it back. So we try to kind of, we think about the child again, to open our hearts again, and then, cuckoo. But it takes a deeper relaxation to basically experience love. That's not doing. Well, it's moving by itself. It's not you giving love. It's moving by itself, experiencing love. When you experience love, sometimes you can be surprised by the amount of love which comes forward. Wow! So a bubble of love bursting. It's the same with basically a lot of different feelings. We have a feeling, we want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. It's also sexuality, it's the same thing. But then we turn in a loop back to it, trying to feed it again, let it come back. So all of this still has to do when we start to feel feelings with control. We want to feel it, but we don't want to take our feeling, that our feeling is taking us over. There is like little trust that when we feel anger, that anger will not take us over. So we feel anger, so we need to do something with it to get rid of the anger. So the most easy thing to do with it is to accuse somebody else. You make me angry. It's because of you. So you do something, so you're not responsible anymore. It's not your anger, it's because of Gina.
For sure.
For sure.
If you're feeling anger, it's for sure mine.
It's because of somebody or something. And same with fear. If you feel fear, it's because of something.
And so the feeling is high frequency?
The feeling is from low frequency to higher frequency. There are a lot of different frequencies there. But you can kind of make a separation between emotions, which are more based on instinct, survival, and feelings. So emotions have most of the times a lower frequency as feelings. They have a little bit a higher frequency.
Emotions are lower frequencies.
Yeah.
Is it love and emotion?
Feeling. I just made a decision. I said feelings have a little bit a higher frequency.
feelings
And
are
emotions are more connected with survival.
Survival.
Love is not necessarily. Fear is an instinct.
Mm.
So the instinct is basically, fear is the basic instinct. From this comes anger.
Mhm.
And then you have mixtures between fear and anger, which partly is jealousy, envy, and all of this kind of
So
shit.
these are all emotions.
These are all emotions.
And feelings?
Love, insecurity is much more a feeling as. Insecurity is basically frozen purity.
What is it?
Insecurity is frozen purity.
What does it mean?
Every person in essence is pure and natural. Exactly right as you are. This is how you're made. How could you be not exactly right as you are? So the moment we are disloyal to our own naturalness, what is created is insecurity. We lose our purity, our sense of purity. Insecurity is coming forward. If we are loyal to the deep feeling of purity which is always inside us, we don't need to be insecure. It's truthfulness towards yourself to be pure. That means that you're able to say, I don't know. You don't need to pretend. Insecurity is a byproduct of pretending. Of course, if we pretend to be different as we are, we become insecure. And then we are not allowed to show insecurity. Or if we have a deep feeling that we're not good enough as we are, so we're not open about, our own naturalness, we get insecure. If we lie, we get insecure.
You said insecurity is a byproduct of superficiality. Is that what you said?
No.
No.
Byproduct of what?
Pretending.
Oh, pretending.
Pretending.
Yeah.
So if you don't need to pretend anymore, you don't need to be insecure anymore. So there is an incredible freedom in this. If you can be natural, and then whatever other people are thinking of you is not that important anymore, because you cannot be different as you are. You're just who you are at that moment. And then when you look to what we are at that moment, and this is one of the themes of this workshop as well, if you look at what you are in this moment, this is different from moment to moment. We're not stable in what we are, how we're connected, how we present ourselves. This is changing. This is changing all the time. We have some structure in our lives according to our beliefs. This is why beliefs are so important, because they give some structure. They give direction in how you express, how you relate to yourself, to the world around yourself. But basically, when you look to how you are moving through life, how you're connecting, how you're responding, this is changing all the time. And what we want is to be a stable, good, two-dimensional person. This is what we invested in. Everybody will bow for, or explode for, applaud for, explode for, applaud for.
No, it also makes it easier for the people around you if you're predictable. Because if you're not, then it's harder for other people.
Yeah.
So you try to be predictable so that you don't
Rock any
jar them
boats.
too much.
Yeah, you shouldn't disappoint your children. Every day when they come home, they get a hit on the head to be calm and quiet, and if you forget it one day, your children go into psychosis. Yeah, that's what you mean.
But ultimately, when we're trying to make sure that we don't rock the boat for anybody else, we stay predictable, it comes back to our own particular fear of rejection. So it's still
Exactly, it's still the fear of rejection, and we
Ruling.
are predictable about things.
Yeah.
So I just want you to take a little bit of time to think about the person you really know, who's close to you, your husband, your friend, your parent, whatever. And to think about, where is this person predictable in? What can you predict? So, what can you predict? Just give an
I see a joke
example.
I'm missing here.
Everything, every reaction.
What?
Really?
Every reaction.
The reaction.
Yeah, every reaction.
Every reaction.
Yeah.
You can predict.
Yeah.
And
That's how
where is this reaction based on?
Fear. For her, it's a fear.
Exactly. The reactions which as predictables are often these areas we're not in peace with ourselves with. These are the predictable patterns. So people sometimes can be predictable in their anger, or in their reactions, in how they move. And partly because what we find, there is something frozen. So, and when something is frozen, we talk about the traumatic experience. So people are predictable in their traumas. So if we really want to be predictable and the same, get some more traumas. Freeze yourself completely.
Why is it predictable then?
Because we move in the same loop again and again in the same situation, or a situation which looks around the same.
The only reaction.
It's the only reaction possible.
You
There's no
press.
choice. Yeah.
Yes,
You press the button.
you
and
press
then
the button and you know exactly what will happen.
But to predict by itself, it also comes from fear.
Of course, we want people to be predictable, because if they're predictable, we know exactly what we can count on. So, if you get a boyfriend, you want him to be predictable, that he will never look to another girl. This is, and somewhere you know that this is not predictable, you never know. So the not knowing, the area of not knowing, the area, to be able to deal with the surprises of life and to adjust to life in the moment, we're much less predictable. And at the same time, and this is important to look at, we look at it a little bit, through the microscope. At the same time, when we look at where we are predictable, are we really connected with the other? Are we seeing the other?
Yeah, no, we're frozen him. We're not allowing him.
No, we're not able. We're frozen inside ourselves. When we move into a constriction, we are more predictable, but at the same time, we're not really connecting with the other. The other becomes, if we move in a frozen situation, the other automatically becomes the stranger, the enemy, the outsider, the cause. So the less we are predictable, the more we are able to really connect with the other and to see what is needed in the moment. And to see what's needed in the moment is not an active mental state. It's not that you have to think every moment, okay, so what does my partner need? And how can I adjust? What would be right? That's much more moving to the level of feelings. So we're talking about the mind and being caught in the mind, and then when we kind of, the mind is a little bit more open and we are less controlling, then more feelings can come up. We get more aware, conscious that there is a lot of feelings going on as well. And we relax more deeply. And in the relaxation there is also an expansion taking place. So we are less locked into the physical, or in a part of the physical. An expansion is taking place, and in this expansion we start to experience. That's something different. It's a difference if you say, I am afraid. I feel fear. I experience anxiety. There is a big difference.
Between all three.
Yeah. To experience fear or to experience anxiety, that means that the fear is less you. It's moving through you. There is more freedom of movement in it. If you experience the atmosphere under a tree, it's less identified as that you feel the atmosphere of a tree. I'm playing with words a little bit to make it kind of clear what I mean by the words, the difference there.
I understand. I can feel the difference between the I am afraid and then the feeling or the experience of it.
Yeah.
But the differences between the feeling and the experience are a little bit more subtle. I'm not quite.
It's basically levels of unhooking, levels of de-identification with whatever is happening in your life. And the more we de-identify, the more we can just let life move through you as how it's moving through you with all the feelings, experiences, thoughts, whatever is there. The less we identify with separate thoughts, separate feelings, the more free and the more natural we are. And the less we're hooked into things. So the hooking is trying to control. And the background of trying to control is fear. So one of the big, what I brought forward, motives to hook into things is to want to be somebody. To want to be okay. To want to become somebody who is okay. To have a form which is stable and okay forever. So in this we can hook in feelings of love. We can hook in the experience of bliss. We can hook in negative and positive thoughts. If I feel like this, I'm okay. If I'm relaxed, happy, open, spontaneous, blissful, I'm okay. So I have to be like this. So, you know, what you see is happy, spontaneous, blissful. It's all spacious. And I have to be like this. Can you feel what's happening? Then I'm okay. So then, of course, you know, because this is happening, we have to pretend to be blissful, spacious, happy. But it's very difficult to be that relaxed, to be spacious, happy, and blissful, and friendly, when the other is always... So you're not to blame. You're just stressed out because of the other. So that's hooks, that's loops.